Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Encrypted and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I've got a top 10 things you should do in all of your Minecraft worlds in survival at least once, or at least try to complete. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, and if there is something in this video you guys didn't know about, be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments below if you guys did complete all 10 of these things already. I actually would be impressed if any of you did, and I definitely want to know. And last but not least, obviously subscribe if you guys are new. I upload new Minecraft videos pretty much every day, every other day if I have to. So with that being said, let's get into the video. So, the first thing on the list of things you should do in every Minecraft survival world is pretty much one of the most obvious things. I just figured I'd get out of the way, is fighting the Ender Dragon and also fighting the Wither. Now, the Ender Dragon, that one's pretty obvious. I think most people, whenever they think about Minecraft in general, they automatically think of, you know, the giant Ender Dragon that you fight at the end of the game. But some people might not know about the Wither, and that is definitely a boss you should totally consider fighting at some point, along with the Ender Dragon, of course, because beating the Ender Dragon means you've basically beaten the game, and there's a lot of other perks to that as well, which I'll get into. But the Wither is kind of a, hidden boss in a way. You have to build it yourself and go out of your way to put it together, and it's, in my opinion, it's even harder than the Ender Dragon. But the items you get from it, it's only one thing, and that is the Nether Star, which basically allows you to create a beacon, which again we'll get into that later in the video as well. But those are two bosses you definitely should consider trying to fight at some point in your worlds, at least once. So this part actually continues from the Ender Dragon part that I was talking about. This is the second thing you should do in all of your worlds, and that is hunting down an end city and an end ship to get an Elytra. Now, back to the Ender Dragon fight. Once you beat the Ender Dragon, your reward is basically a second portal that opens up that takes you even further into the end. And this area of the end takes you to like end islands and different end cities and things. And in these end cities are tons of chests and enemies and loot and all kinds of important endgame materials you're gonna want to have. But there's one very, very specific item that you can only obtain from the end cities, and that is the Elytra. And you actually don't even get that from the end city, technically. You actually get it from an end ship that floats above the city. And in that ship, there's always going to be one Elytra. Always. There will never be a ship that spawns that doesn't have an Elytra until someone takes it. So whenever you find one of these ships, go up there and get it, and you'll find an Elytra in there. And the Elytra is a pair of wings you can use to fly around, and super, super helpful. I actually have a video on the channel if you guys want to learn more about the Elytra, but definitely get yourself an Elytra at some point in the game. You're going to want that, for sure. And for the third thing on the list, we might as well finish up the bosses now. When I was talking about the Wither, I said you could get a Nether Star from the Wither, which allows you to create a beacon. And basically, building a beacon is this giant structure that gives you all kinds of buffs and things that you get to choose. And that is the third item on the list. You want to build a beacon at some point in your world. You want to put it somewhere in there where you think it's going to be most helpful to you. And you want to try to build at least one, because obviously you're going to get the achievement for it. But you're going to want those buffs, and you never ever know whenever you might need them. And actually at some point in this video, you're going to hear a few other things you should do that the beacon might be able to help you with. So definitely build a beacon whenever you guys get the chance. Now the fourth thing on the list is hunting down an ocean monument or a woodland mansion, or both, preferably both, and looting them all the way till there's nothing left in them. Look around, find all the cool stuff you can, find all the enemies in there, and get all the rare loot possible. Ocean monuments are spawned under water, obviously, in the sea. I have a video dedicated to ocean monuments entirely, but just a quick little recap of that. Basically, in the ocean monuments, there's different blocks in there that only spawn in the monument, such as prismarine, sea lanterns, that kind of thing. And there's also elder guardians, which basically drop sponge when you kill them, and whenever you kill them, that will prevent you from getting mining fatigue, which allows you to mine the monument, which you definitely want to go in there and get some of these blocks and stuff so you can build conduits, and so you can, have some cool looking builds with prismarine and all kinds of things like that, and get sponge, of course. And then the woodland mansions, on the other hand, are basically this giant mansion that's located in the middle of a forest. In fact, it's the dark oak forest, or the roof forest as most people call it, and it's located in there, and it's pretty rare. It's not common that you'll find these, but whenever you do find one, if you go in there, you're going to find all kinds of pillager guys and evokers, and that's going to give you a chance to get some totems of undying. You're going to find loot chests in there that have all kinds of rare gear and stuff in it. You definitely want to go in and check that out. Now, if you're having trouble finding the ocean monuments or the woodland mansion, which chances are you're probably struggling with the woodland mansion at least, there's actually a tip that I have for you that actually can help you find these things guaranteed, which is going to lead us into our next tip. And the next thing you should do on this list is build a village. As I said in the last tip, there is a way to get a guaranteed location for the ocean monuments and the woodland mansion, and that is from finding a cartographer villager and trading with him to get a map that shows you exactly where these structures are located. And there's all kinds of other things that the villagers can give you, such as obviously emeralds. They can give you food, not too big on the food thing, but they can give you diamond tools, diamond armor, all kinds of enchanted things, and all kinds of stuff you're definitely not going to want to miss out on. But you need a village for that. And obviously you could go out and hunt down a village, but you're going to want to upgrade it and build it some defenses so zombies can't get in and kill everyone, and you're going to want to have more villagers in total, so you're going to build more houses and stuff. So at some point you should definitely consider building your own village so you can have all kinds of village trades and all kinds of things like that, like mending books and stuff. And the sixth thing on the list is, this is one that is debatable whether you guys would want to do this or not, but I would definitely consider this if I were you, and that is building a farm. Now, building a farm is pretty important. It actually kind of ties in to the last tip I gave you guys with the village. Building a farm is pretty important because you're going to be able to get all kinds of your food and all your stuff from there alone, and it's going to be a guaranteed source of food. But it's also a good source of trading materials, because if you have farmers in your village, which you definitely should get farmers in your village, they will trade you for all of these farm crops, such as potatoes, wheat, carrots, eggs, if you have chickens, all kinds of stuff like that. Now, obviously, if you're going to build a farm, you should definitely build one that's bigger than mine, because mine's pretty small. Mine's a basic farm. I actually want to upgrade mine a lot to get it to be to a point where it's just like got everything there, like cocoa beans and melons, pumpkins, sugarcane, wheat, all kinds of stuff there. And that's how you should aim your farms to be. You should try to get the biggest farm you possibly can, and it doesn't have to look perfect. If I wasn't worried about how mine looked, I would just go crazy with it and just build the biggest thing ever. You can do tons of things with farms too, like build redstone contraptions to grow all your stuff for you. You can put in all kinds of animals and all kinds of different crops and stuff, and you can make it look really nice if you want, but you should definitely consider putting together your own farm at some point in your world. And speaking of farming, this is going to lead us into the next tip. For number 7, you should definitely consider building a mob grinder. Now, a mob grinder is pretty different from a mob spawner. A mob spawner is only going to spawn one specific kind of mob, and even then it spawns it pretty randomly. It's not like super consistent. It kind of just spawns one or two every now and then, and obviously that's nice, but you want to get them faster, right? So basically what you need to do is you need to find a way to basically create this giant tower structure or some kind of contraption that's going to spawn mobs in on their own at all times of the day, and that's going to damage them enough to where you can hit them one time and they'll die, and you get all the XP and you get all the loot and stuff. This is especially important whenever you're trying to get fireworks for your elytra, or you're trying to get arrows for your bows if you don't have infinity. These are very, very helpful contraptions to put together, and you should definitely consider getting one. And I'm probably showing you my Enderman grinder right now, but I want to get a better farm at some point in the overworld where I can get creepers and stuff. I'm still working on that. I don't know how it's going to work in Bedrock Edition, but I'll try to find a way. And for the 8th thing you guys should do, you should definitely consider putting together your own mine at some point. Now, this one's probably kind of, again, it's kind of a given, I'd say, like the Ender Dragon, but the kind of mine I'm talking about isn't just your normal going underground and digging out a whole bunch of spaces. I mean like building a branch mine, like a giant one. Basically what these are, this is the most efficient kind of mine you can build, a branch mine. Basically you're digging 2 blocks forward, and there's always going to be 2 or 4 blocks in between you. I'm not sure exactly how much, I can't really explain it, but basically a branch mine is the best way to mine any area, because you're going to be guaranteed to see all of the ores that you're digging near. And you're going to be digging through, well, technically 6 blocks you'll be able to see every time you dig forward, so that's 6 chances of finding an ore every time you dig 2 blocks forward, which is pretty good. Obviously, anytime you dig forward, you're going to find some kind of ore, whether it's diamond, emerald if you're in extreme hills biome, if you're lucky, gold, lapis, redstone, iron, all kinds of important essential ores you're going to want. So definitely build a branch mine at some point in your world. And for the 9th tip, guys, this is one that I definitely think is very important that you should actually do pretty early on in the game, and that is filling out maps. Maps are the basic way of finding your way around in Minecraft. If you aren't good at memorizing your surroundings, maps are super essential for finding your way around and kind of marking your territory and figuring out where you are exactly in the world. Now, whenever you spawn in the world, you're always going to have one regular map, and this is a 3x4 map, so it's a pretty big map, but it's not as big as it can be. If you get a cartographer table, you can actually build a 4x4 map, which is huge. And basically you can fill these maps out entirely, and it takes a while to do, but once they're entirely filled, you're going to have a giant section of your world totally filled out, and you can see exactly where everything is located. And what you can do is you can put these maps on item frames and kind of put them together like a puzzle. So instead of having just one giant map, you're going to have a massive map that's built out of 3 or 4 maps all filled out. And it's super helpful, and you should definitely consider doing this fairly early on in the game, in my opinion. Alright guys, here is the 10th and final tip, and this is a special tip, and it's actually one that I feel like some of you would like, some of you might not like, but this is one that I always live by at some point. In my worlds, I always like to have one specific thing that stands my current world out from my other worlds, and even from other people's worlds in general. And that is by doing some kind of project or some kind of thing that you find special or that you find interesting or that you think is cool. You gotta remember, you're starting up this whole world and you're playing through everything and getting all these materials and tools, and for what? What are you using them for? Are you just gonna keep playing the game normally, mining diamonds throughout every time you play, or are you gonna go for something big? Or are you gonna do something crazy? And that's what I like to do. So definitely try to think of some kind of cool project you can do, some kind of interesting thing that you can do on your own world that no one's done before, or something that, even if it has been done before, something that you find interesting or that you think would be fun or would look cool after it's done. Put those tools to use. Put all these items, the beacon, the rare items you're finding from the end cities, the elytras, all of these things that you're using, put them to use and build some kind of giant project. That's what I would do if I were you guys. That's not the 10th tip, if I could speak. I hope you guys did enjoy this though, and like I said, if you guys did complete all 10 of these tips, or most of the tips, I actually would like to know in the comments below, so feel free to let me know. I'll heart you guys if you do. Obviously, I'm very interested in that. And like the video if you guys did enjoy this at any point at all. I would really appreciate that. Remember, subscribe if you guys are new. I upload new Minecraft videos pretty much every day, if I possibly can. And with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one, and have an amazing day. Peace!